Hi everyone, it's Karen from the Geordie Grandma. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, a very warm welcome. Today's video is that good old topic, weight loss. I feel like I've talked about this several times on my channel, but obviously I haven't conquered it. So I had a few things to talk about with regards to my weight and things that I've tried to do about it. So just to give a slight recap, I'm 62. I've yo-yo dieted probably since I was 16 years old. I was only about 9.5 stone when I got married. That was in 1986, and I'm now 16 stone. So my weight is, I've yo-yo dieted, my weight has gone up and down. My highest weight was 19 stone 2, so I did manage to lose some and not put it back on. A couple of years ago on this channel, I did a series of videos with Busy Bee Marie, Tina's Talk Time and Maria Crocker, where we did a summer weight loss challenge, and I managed to get down to 14.5 stone. But with everything that happened last year with Warren, with his cancer diagnosis and his treatment, my eating just was out of control. I'm a stress eater, I'm a binge eater. So I put 1.5 stone on. As well as being overweight, I'm only 5'4", so it kind of, sits heavy on us, although I can disguise it somewhat with clothes I wear, but that's not the point, is it? I'm also type 2 diabetic. I was diagnosed probably about 14 years ago now, and you'd think in 14 years I would have got it under control, and I just haven't. It's the graph for me, my HbA1c, which I have taken at least once a year, has been up and down over the years. I've managed to get it down a little bit, and then I've gone up again, and then it's gone down again, and it's just been a huge thing. I started, when I first was diagnosed, I tried to control it with diet, which didn't work. So I was put onto metformin, which is a tablet for type 2 diabetes. The amount I was taking has gone up over the years, and I think it was about a year ago, maybe longer than that, they actually added another tablet to it, which is glycoside, a very small dose of it. So that gave me 2 medications. So I take the metformin 3 times a day, and I take the metformin twice a day, and I take the glycoside once a day. Obviously still not working, because my blood sugar on my last HbA1c check, which was about 3 weeks ago, had gone up to, I think it's 69, which is quite high. Normal blood sugar is under 42. So I think mine was 69. It has been up at 90. It's been down at 60. I think it was down at 53 a few years ago, but at the moment it is up at 69. So I put 1.5 stone on, my blood sugar has gone up, and I'm not controlling it. I have tried every single diet under the sun over the years. I've tried Slimming World, I've tried Weight Watchers, I've tried intermittent fasting, I've tried keto, I've tried low carb. It all works to start with. All diets work to start with, but they're not sustainable. For me, they're not sustainable. I think it's because when you say the word diet, and obviously the diets you follow, there's restrictions. So it doesn't work for us. And like I say, I am a binge eater, which doesn't help. I didn't want to go back to Slimming World, which was the last thing I did, I think. Was the last organised slimming club I joined. And the reason I didn't want to go back was I only went for 2 weeks the last time I went. And I just sat there and I listened to the people talk. And I know it works for lots of people and it works for you. That's brilliant. I'm not knocking it. But for me, I sat and listened to people talk, and there was this woman had said she had been invited out for afternoon tea by her family. They were going to treat her, and she was looking forward to it, but she was worried about what she was going to eat. And people were saying, well, can you not ask them to take you somewhere else that's not food related? Can you, ask them to cater for your diet? Ask the cafe or the restaurant to cater for your diet. Just eat this, don't eat that. And I just thought to myself, this woman was being taken out by her family for afternoon tea as a treat, and she was worried about what she was going to eat. And all of these people were sitting, trying to give her ways to not enjoy an afternoon tea. And I just thought, this is not for me. Life is not about doing things that you're not enjoying. It's about living and about enjoying things, but not overindulging. So I didn't want to go back to Slimming World. So I thought, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. And I don't particularly want people to comment, say, do this, do that, this works. I don't need you to say that, because I know what I should be eating. I know what a healthy diet is. I'm an intelligent woman. I know when I'm eating something that is going to make us binge. I know when I'm doing something that's going to make us binge. I don't need an educational class on what to eat. For me, it is, I've been saying this for years, it is about mindset. It has never been about what I'm eating. Of course, it is about what I'm eating, because if I didn't eat to the extent that I eat, then I wouldn't be fat, or I wouldn't be overweight. To me, it's about how you're thinking about food. I'm constantly thinking about food, and when I go on a diet, I think about it even more. It is on my mind. As soon as I wake up, what can I eat this morning? How many sins is in that? How many is this low carb? How many carbs is in it? And it just takes over your life. And I think for me, that makes it worse. So it is definitely a mindset thing. One of the things that I've realized recently is some of the triggers for me for eating. So I can get stressed sometimes about YouTube videos that I'm doing. I think to myself, if it's a particularly hassling video that's going to take lots of, different bits and moving cameras around, and it's going to be more than one day, I can feel like it's a little bit overwhelming. And instead of just getting on and doing little bits of it, I will sit down on this seat, watch the telly, and then I will pick. I will eat crisps, I will eat chocolate, I'll have toast, I'll have bowls of cereal, and I will procrastinate and put off doing the YouTube video that I think is going to be stressful. And then when I finish doing that, I'm still in the same position. I haven't done the video, and I've probably put another £2 on. So I know the things that trigger us, but I can't stop myself being triggered. I do what I have recently come to know is self-sabotaging. I self-sabotage myself. I do this in a lot of areas of my life. I'll write a list of YouTube videos that I think I want to do, and then I'll overthink it. I'll go through them and I'll think, I can't really do that one because that would be boring. Can't do this one because it's going to take too long. Can't do this one because somebody else has done it. I overthink it and I self-sabotage myself, and I don't do the videos. Then other people will bring out the same videos. And I think, why didn't I just do it? And I'm doing that with food. So a couple of viewers have said to us, why don't you try Mounjaro? Now, I was given a trial of a tablet. I can't remember exactly. I think it was Ozempic, something like that, which is very similar to Mounjaro, but it was tablet form, and it was going to be a trial. So the first couple of weeks was going to be the real thing, and then I wouldn't know whether I'd get the real thing or the placebo. This was in tablet form. It did not agree with us. I felt quite ill while I was taking the tablet. I felt sick, had constipation, diarrhea, so I stopped taking it. So when people were saying to us, why don't you try Mounjaro? I was like, should I not? I can't really afford to take it. And then they said it was going to be available on the NHS. But when it came out, there was a big notice on my doctor's Facebook page that said, please do not ask for an appointment for Mounjaro if you haven't got, I think it was 4 out of 5 conditions. So the conditions were, you had to have a BMI of 40 or more and 4 confirmed diagnoses of the following 5 health-related problems. So they were type 2 diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, obstructive sleep apnea, and abnormal blood fats. So I've possibly got a BMI of 40. I think I may just be bordering on it. And I do have type 2 diabetes, but I don't have any of the others. So that was going to be no good. They wouldn't prescribe it to us. So I thought about it and I thought about it and I thought, will I get it prescribed from the internet? There's quite a few reputable places that prescribe it. So I went on to, this was Lloyd's Pharmacy I went on to. I filled in the consultation form. It asks you if you've got diabetes, if you've ever had pancreatitis, lots of other questions. And this is what it came back with. Thank you for completing your consultation. Unfortunately, we can't prescribe Mounjaro as a weight loss treatment for you because you have type 2 diabetes. Prescribing this medication online could be unsafe for you. However, you might still be suitable for this treatment through your GP or doctor who would need to closely monitor your progress. So Lloyd's weren't going to give us it because I've got type 2 diabetes. Mounjaro is a medication that was actually created for people with type 2 diabetes to lower blood sugar. That was what it was created for. The weight loss thing was a side effect of the Mounjaro. So I can't get it from my GP because I don't have 4 of those 5 related conditions, and I can't get it by paying for it because I have type 2 diabetes. When I seen that, I was just so frustrated. I just thought, that makes no sense to me. I did try another online pharmacy, Superdrug. I tried, went through the same kind of process. It wasn't as in-depth, but it was the same kind of process. They were going to prescribe it. I had already said I had type 2 diabetes, and I have had pancreatitis in the past, so I ticked that. It did come up with a passage saying if you have had pancreatitis, Mounjaro it is a rare side effect, but it can cause pancreatitis. So you would need to, if you had any of the symptoms, you would need to stop it immediately. But they were going to prescribe it. And I thought to myself, so Lloyd's won't prescribe it, but Superdrug will. That just seems a bit off to me. It's either I can have it or I can't have it. You cannot have a different one surely from different online suppliers. So that kind of threw us a little bit. So when I went for my diabetic checkup last week, where you go and your blood pressure and your weight and they check your feet and all that kind of thing, I asked the diabetic nurse about Mounjaro and I explained the situation. She says, yes, it's terrible, isn't it? Well, that's not very helpful, is it? And she said she didn't actually say anything about these 4 conditions that you had to have. What she told us was you have to have tried 3 different diabetic medications to get your diabetes under control before they will give you Mounjaro. So which is it? Do I need to satisfy these 4 conditions, or do I just need to have tried 3 tablet form of medication? Which is it? The information is so disjointed between all of those places, the GP, themselves, the the diabetes nurse, the online chemists. I don't know what to believe. I'm very frustrated. But having had pancreatitis in the past, I explained this to the diabetes nurse, and she said that would be a factor. She said they would have to have a discussion about it. She would have to discuss it with the GP, and they would have to work out whether that would be the best way forward for me if I was to do that. But she said I had to keep going with the metformin and the glycoside and see her again in 3 months, and then we would rethink it. I don't know what that means. But all of that information that I've just told you is so frustrating, and who knows what to think. I sometimes think they're making it up. So, my situation, I'm 16 stone, I've put 1.5 stone on, my diabetes is not under control. I have diabetic neuropathy in my feet, which I also mentioned to the diabetic nurse. She says, I know it's not good, is it? I thought, what's that? What am I supposed to do? And I'm feeling, when I get up in the morning, I feel like I'm 90. I know there are some 90-year-olds out there who feel like they're 60, but I don't. I feel like I'm 90. I feel like an old woman. And I know I don't need to feel like that. I know getting me weight down, getting me diabetes under control will help me significantly. And one of the reasons I want to do that is because I want to go on enjoying my life for as long as possible. I want to be doing things. I'm finding it difficult to come down the stairs on a morning. I do have osteoarthritis as well in my feet and my knees. So I come down the stairs sideways on a morning. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't need to be doing that. So exercise, lose weight, get my diabetes under control. It sounds simple, but having yo-yo dieted for 40 years, it isn't simple. I'm not suddenly going to have something switch on in my head that says, oh, Karen, now you know what to do. I know what to do. It's just, I can't get my mindset right. So I decided to Google, is there something that will give me the same effect as the Mounjaro jabs, stopping the food noises, without actually having the jabs? And what came up on Google was something called Slimpod. Now, you might have heard it, you might not have heard it. And when I first looked at it, I thought, another diet? I don't want to go on another diet. So I read a little bit more about it. It was developed by I think she's like a cognitive behavioural therapist and weight loss expert called Sandra Rycroft Davis. And she's developed this program. I think it's been around for a few years. It's been tried and tested by NHS staff and all that kind of thing. And the Slimpod is supposed to do something very similar to what the Mounjaro does. So it turns off the food noises, makes you not really want to eat all of the time, and it doesn't give you a diet. And I thought, this sounds interesting. So it says it changes your mindset, retrains your brain to lose weight and keep it off without a diet. This sounds good to me. So you get a free 10-day trial, and then if you want to continue afterwards, it was £49 a month for 3 months. And it is a series of videos. So it's in 3 phases over 12 weeks. So each week they release a new level to you. So you get 5 videos a week, which is Sandra Rycroft Davis talking to you about different aspects of being healthy and how to set up, how to create habits, good habits and things like that. You get 12 weeks of that. And there is also a Facebook group with lots of information in. It's a very active Facebook group, very active. Lots of help in there. You can get an accountability buddy if you want to chat to. There is lives from Sandra all the time to listen to, where you can ask questions. So it's like a Zoom call kind of thing. I'm not being paid to do this. I've just come across it on my own. I do have a discount code if you want to go across and try it, but obviously you can get the free trial and then decide whether you want to pay for it. This is just me talking about it because it is something I've been doing for 2 weeks, so I thought I would share it with you. So you get the weekly coaching videos from Sandra, which, as I said, are 5 videos each week. You can listen to them all at once. I think the longest has been like 20 minutes. They're usually about 10 minutes. So you can listen to them all at once, or you could listen to one a day throughout the week if you want, and you can go back and listen to them and again and again and again if you want to. And there is also something called the pods. When you get the free trial, you get 2 of them. You get a Slimpod and a chill pod. Now, these are both audio recordings, and it sounds very weird. And these are audio recordings from a guy called Trevor Sylvester, who is apparently an expert in using language to influence behaviour. I suppose it's a little bit like hypnotism. And they're only 5 or 6 minute audio recordings. They're the same, you listen to the same ones all the time. So the Slimpod one, you are supposed to listen to every night before you go to sleep. And the first time I listened to it, I heard everything he said. And he actually says in it, I'm really not talking to you, I'm talking to your unconscious. So it doesn't matter if you fall asleep listening to it, doesn't matter if your mind wanders, it's supposed to be his way of training your subconscious to not want to eat the way you've eaten before. It sounds strange, but I've been listening to this Slimpod for 2.5 weeks now. There's also something called a chill pod, which is supposed to help you relieve stress. So if I was sitting and I'm thinking, I really want to, get a bowl of cereal, or I want some crisps. If I feel like I want to binge, then in theory, you listen to this chill pod. It does a very similar thing to what the Slimpod does. It's by the same guy. It's talking to your subconscious, so you can just sit and listen to it any time of day. I do not advise you listen to these in the car or anything where where it could be dangerous, because these have put me to sleep. They've sent me to sleep, especially if I'm lying in bed. It sends me to sleep. Most of the time I listen to maybe a minute or 2 and I'm gone. You could leave it playing all night if you want to, and it always reminds us. In fact, Warren said this, because obviously I'm playing it not through headphones, I'm just playing it in bed before we go to sleep, so Warren's been listening to it as well. And he says, it's like, I don't know if you've seen the episode of Friends where Chandler listens to a tape to help him stop smoking or something, and it goes on about being a strong, confident woman, and he gets up the next morning with a towel wrapped around his head, and he's acting supposedly feminine. Warren says it's like that. Is he going to end up getting up with a towel around his head? But it does send you to sleep, so don't listen to it while you're driving. There is another 2 pods that come during the 12 weeks that I haven't got yet. One is a sugar pod and one is a fit pod. So I'm guessing they're in the same vein, just 5-6 minutes that you listen to. It's talking to your unconscious or your subconscious. And these ones would be about eating too much sugar or eating sugar, and the other one about exercise. But let us tell you what's happened in the last 2.5 weeks. I haven't lost any weight, but I had only been listening to the Slimpod before I went to sleep for about 3 nights. And I stopped doing something. What I was doing on a morning, I was having 2 breakfasts, or a 2-stage breakfast. I felt like a bit like a hobbit from Lord of the Rings with second breakfast. So I would have a bowl of cereal, and then 15 minutes later, I would have a couple of slices of toast. And I've been doing that for quite a while. And after 3 days of listening to that Slimpod, I stopped doing that. I didn't want the toast, or I didn't want the cereal. I would just have one. And I thought, is that because of the Slimpod? Or is it just a psychological thing where I'm thinking I'm in diet mode because I have started this Slimpod program? I'm not sure. But it's been 2.5 weeks now. There was two or three nights where I didn't listen to Trevor, and I kind of slipped. The eating started to creep in, the second breakfast, and picky and through the day. So I'm not sure if that's working, because it's only been 2.5 weeks. It's not really long enough to tell, but you're supposed to listen to this every night, forever, basically. And when I was on holiday, we went on holiday and stayed in a train carriage. You will have already seen that video. I was there for 4 nights, so 5 days. I didn't binge. I don't think I binged at all. I did eat, but I didn't binge. I wasn't having 2 breakfasts. I wasn't thinking about food. I wouldn't say I restricted myself. I didn't, when we went to a cafe, I think I had a tea cake. I may have had a piece of cake at one point, but I didn't feel like I was binging like I would normally do when I went on holiday. And when I got home, I weighed myself. I hadn't put any weight on. And normally when I go away, I would at least put a couple of pounds on. I hadn't put weight on. So whether that is this doing those things for us, I'm not sure. But even though I haven't lost weight, I feel like my mindset is changing slightly, but it is definitely too early to tell if it's really working. So I'm going to continue to do it. And I will keep you updated. I'll maybe give you an update once a fortnight, once a month. Let me know in the comments below what you think would be a good length of time to do the updates, and I'll be happy to do that. So there is a referral link if you want to try it. You can just sign up and get the free 10-day trial. You can see if it's for you. You can see if it's worth doing, whether you think it's a load of hocus pocus, because there is no diet. They don't tell you what to eat. There is a healthy eating tab on the website where you can look at healthy eating recipes that you can have a look at and try, but there is no diet. She's not saying you must eat this in the morning, you must eat this at lunch. They're not doing that. They want you, they're talking. So the videos you get, the ones that I've had in the last 2 weeks, are things like creating healthy habits, trusting yourself around food, healthy eating made simple, how to leave diet head behind. And they're all just small videos that are talking you through how a normal person would eat. So a person that's never had to diet in their life would do this automatically. And I think when you've been stuck in the diet merry-go-round or the diet carousel for years and years and years, you don't think about food normally. I don't think about food normally. I'm thinking about food with the diet head on. So this is supposed to help you think about food like a normal person would. So I'm hoping that's going to work for us. Ones that are to come, videos that are to come in, the next 12 weeks are things like hunger and portion control, breaking stubborn habits. There's a bit about menopause in there. There's a bit about, I think there's a bit about snacking, how to get on top of that. So there's lots of helpful information in there that I'm looking forward to listening to. There's lots of links to different resources. So they talk about, in the first couple of weeks, they talk about goal setting and how to set goals for yourself. But try not to do it is, I want to lose 2 stone, because she actually tells you to put the scales away and don't get weighed, because that is a way of self-sabotaging yourself. If you get on the scales and you put weight on, you head straight for the packet of crisps or the bar of chocolate because you're fed up. So she tells you not to get weighed. There's lots of downloads on there, like 1-page cheat sheets to help you, tick lists, like I said, the healthy recipes. So it's well worth having a look at, even if you just do the free 10-day trial, like I said. But I have paid for the first month. You can cancel it any time. You don't have to do the next 2 months, but it's only 3 months. and I just thought it was worth it. If I was going to do Mounjaro, I'd be spending, what, £150 a month? So I thought £39 a month, it's worth a shot. Nothing else has worked. You know, you might say, well, the diets do work, but they only work if you stick to it. And I guess this is only going to work if I stick to it as well. But it's going to get me, hopefully, out of that diet mindset about thinking about food, about chocolate and crisps, is something it's a guilty pleasure, that's a sin, it's cheeky. If you watch my Things That Irritate Us. I need to get out of that mindset. I need to be in the mindset of a person who eats normally, which I've never done, never. Ever since I was a child, I've never done it. So I'm hoping, and I'm not expecting it to take us 12 weeks. It's taken 40 years to get to where I am. So I'm not expecting it to take 12 weeks to fix all that. I've listened to some of the stories of people who have done Slimpod, because she has got a YouTube channel as well. And I've listened to some of the stories, and there's one woman, it took 18 months for this to kick in for her, for it to start to work. So, you know, if it's taken you 40 years to get those bad habits ingrained, it can't just take 12 weeks to get rid of them. So I'm not expecting miracles, but I do think it is something that is worth trying for me. And maybe it's something that's worth trying for you. So I will leave the referral link in the description box below, which gives you 10% discount if you wanted to sign up for the monthly payments after the trial. Anybody does do that, then I would get £10. So you don't have to use my link if you don't want to. You could just go and Google it, and that's fine. I'm not doing this video to make money. I'm doing it because I think it sounds interesting. It's something I've never tried before, and maybe it's something you might be interested in trying. If you're in the same boat, you know, you don't want to do Mounjaro, you've maybe got diabetes, you just want to do something about it. So I'll leave that in the description box below. I will also leave the link in the pinned comment at the top. So that's my probably 65th video about me trying to lose weight. It can get boring when people keep talking about their weight loss journey, but I think this has got to be, I feel like this is the last chance saloon for me. If this doesn't work for us, I don't think anything is going to work. And I can't see me being able to go on the Mounjaro anytime soon. And to be quite honest, I have heard some stories where there's really bad side effects, and do I really want to put myself through that? I'm already on 2 medications. Do I really want to take another one? So hopefully I can get my head around this, and it can get into my head and start working. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you did find this interesting. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel and you want to keep up with how I'm doing on this, then click the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified of the videos that I bring out, so if you hit the little bell, it will tell you when I've brought a new video out. So thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.